Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Affinity Streaming Podcast. I'm your host, Contrell Morris. Joining us today are Charlie, Sarah, and Riley. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Hi, good.
And special guests today from forcesofgeek.com, the editor-in-chief, Stefan Blitz. How are you, Stefan?
Trell, it is an honor and a privilege to be here. I haven't seen you in some time, and I look forward to contributing to this episode and help the box office for Marvel a little bit.
we appreciate it. And Marvel does need our help with box office, I'm sure.
Well,
yeah. Today's movie is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I guess it's Volume 3, technically. 2023, rated PG-13, runtime of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Before we get started, I ask you guys to follow us on our socials, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We are at Affinity Streaming Podcast. All right. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, directed by James Gunn for Marvel Studios, starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana. How do you say it? Saldana. Saldana. 82 critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 94 audience, 7.3 on Film Affinity. Charlie, tell us about Star-Lord and his friends.
Yeah, I was always like partial to the Guardians of the Galaxy movies from Marvel. I enjoy those the most out of theirs. And yeah, I liked this one too. It was fun. I don't know, all the characters had a thing to do, which I liked, and no one felt like useless. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh my god. For me, I don't know. I usually like science fiction movies, but I don't know. I'm not that into the Guardians of the Galaxy. For me, it felt like there was too much of everything, too long. Yeah, I just enjoy like the Rocket story, like the past, like explaining like how everything happened. But I don't know. Like I wasn't like I didn't like the other characters. Kind of like it was like so much of everything. Like what I said, like as I said, it felt like yeah, I wasn't like paying attention at everything that was happening because it was too much. It was like now, yeah, I just enjoyed like the Rocket story. So it was a little different for me because I usually like enjoy those type of. And the first one, I like it a lot. The second one, I fell asleep. And this one was okay. But yeah, I'm sad that I didn't like as much as the first one. I don't know.
Well, I'm like shockingly going to agree with Charlie and disagree with Sarah. Because yeah, I actually didn't like the first one that much. I was like,
oh, really?
I don't know. I was like not a huge fan. I was like, this kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't what I was expecting, and the humor, how they chose to do it was a little weird. I enjoyed it, but not that much. The second one also was like very okay, but this one I actually liked. I thought that they like got rid of the annoying aspects that some of the characters had. And this one was like much better. I thought the story was good. I liked it. Yeah, pretty decent.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoy the Guardians films. I wasn't crazy about the holiday special. The second movie, the subplot with Kurt Russell as Pratt's father, didn't really work for me. And then when we went back into this one, it was all post-Infinity or Endgame.
Yeah.
And we'd seen how, there are all these extraneous stories that happened outside of the Guardians franchise that affected them, from, Gamora being from a different timeline. And I know that James Gunn planned to tell the story of Rocket if he was able to finish his trilogy, and I'm glad that he did, but it was a little too of a downer.
Yeah.
I just thought every time it happened, I wanted, seeing these, medically, dissected animals with they're talking. It wasn't super endearing. It was like, oh my god, you're just gonna kill me. It's like my heart is breaking. And at the same time, I really liked that all the characters had the resolution of their stories.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
We ended the trilogy with a story for each of the characters. I like the fact how Quill and Gamora came to peace with their relationship.
Yes.
She found her own new family with the Ravagers. I liked how, Drax became a father to all these children. And I thought all of that was I thought that was really well done. And even the post credits setting up a new Guardians team was a lot of fun. And I liked the idea of Star-Lord going home to see his grandfather.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
at the same time, it kind of feels like a lot of stuff was just thrown in. Like we've had hints of Adam Warlock since the first film, and he doesn't really serve much of a purpose in this. He's just like hired muscle,
Comic relief.
but he really wasn't, because you already have. But you already have, what do you call it? You already have Drax.
Drax, yeah, they were the same character. Dumb,
Yeah.
strong guys. Yeah.
But overall, I mean, it was entertaining. I think it's a sum of a lot of great parts rather than an overall great movie.
That's fair.
But I think I really, for whatever reason, I know he was canceled at one point, but James Gunn being able to finish his story, I was really happy to see. And whether it's my story that I love, it doesn't matter, because he told his story, and for the most part, it works. It's entertaining, and there's emotion. I mean, there's more emotion in this than there was in, most of the other Marvel films.
Yeah.
There's very few other moments.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it was my favorite. It was my favorite of the three. One, I hated 1 and 2. So
You hated them?
yeah, the fact I hated, but I actually enjoyed this one. I felt like I was missing a lot of stuff. I guess there's a Christmas special I missed.
Yeah, it's on Disney.
There was something else.
Right? It's just not a lot happens in it, right?
No, but they also make this weird establishment in there that Mantis is Quill's half sister.
No,
It's
but
kind
that's
of
in the
told
second.
matter of factly. It makes no real sense in the special,
Oh.
and they kind of pick it up here a little bit.
I thought that was in the second movie. Was that
Was
not?
it? No,
Or
I don't.
was it
I think
implied? Maybe it was implied.
maybe it's implied a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's just certain things that I liked having little flashbacks, like in this one where we saw what's the Rooker character?
With the
Yondu.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yondu, yeah.
We saw Yondu in this one when Sean Gunn looks over and he sees him walking.
Yeah.
Like those were like really kind of emotional, nice bits.
Yeah, but
Overall-
then he would put in a joke and make it not as...
Yeah, I know.
Drax
But
would say something stupid.
yeah, but to be
But-
fair, like it's like a requirement from Marvel, and this one they really toned that stuff down, which I liked.
Yeah.
There was a lot less of that. There was like a few times that stood out, like when they're like on the radios and Peter's giving that really like heartfelt, like trying to give that little talk, and then they just undercut it completely, and it's like, come on,
Right.
like
Yeah.
stop being Marvel for
So-
like 2 minutes, please.
Stefan, of all three Guardians movies, who's your favorite character from these three movies?
I think part of me wants to say Quill, but I also I think more than a character, I like the chemistry between Drax and Mantis.
Same.
I think
Yeah.
that's really well handled and really, a charming companion to one another. Now, Quill, I mean, the thing is that, when Rocket is incapacitated in this film, he's like, "This is my best friend." It's not a friendship we've really seen all that much. It's like
Yeah.
they're telling us they were great friends.
Yeah.
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 But, I think, and then there's also, there's a subplot of, I think, Groot and Rocket, that there's a friendship, but Groot rather has changed so much over the films. It's not really the same character. It's,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think everyone in it is pretty solid. I like seeing Stallone. I mean, like that's always, a nice little cameo to have him pop up. And,
Yeah.
overall, I think the Guardians movies are a lot of fun, but I think it's the only thing that's come out of Marvel since Endgame, as they've gone into this new phase, that has anything to say.
Yeah.
Like this past phase feels like it's the Julia Louis-Dreyfus phase, like where it's all set up for what's coming next, and part of me is like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Most of the Marvel TV shows, I'm not finding that entertaining.
Yeah, that was kind of me after the Endgame stuff. I kind of like checked out. It's like I don't know. I hit
There's
the
no
end.
longer I have to
I
see
hit the
this right
end
away.
game.
Right, and they follow that with like Eternals, which I thought was insufferable to sit through.
That's what I heard. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't look.
But
Right.
and but I liked and Black Widow's fine, but it's nothing great.
Yeah.
And the Disney show is my favorite one to this day. I was not a huge fan of Loki. I was not a huge fan of WandaVision. I think Hawkeye is the closest one that feels like a Marvel movie
Really.
because they have he's embedded in that world with other characters and everything else, picking up threads with like the Ronin suit. But I hope Marvel turns it around because last night was the 5th episode of Secret Invasion. It finally ended with Fury putting on his eye patch. It's like one episode left. Now he's going to get to work.
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah. Well,
Sarah Riley, favorite characters?
For me, I didn't like any of them like so much. I was so neutral about it. But as he said, like the relationship between Mantis and Drac was what stood out for me, and that was like the part that I enjoyed basically. But yeah, I feel like I didn't like connect and like so much with the characters. So yeah,
I liked finding out more about Rocket. Like, I don't know, it gave a completely like different side to him compared to like what you see in all the previous movies.
Yes.
So I just really like seeing like, okay, where did this like character like come from, and seeing all of the younger stuff, like how like innocent, good, he just wanted to help, like sweet, and he just got like totally screwed over and like turned into the little bit more rough, tough like persona that he has a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I really liked seeing like, okay, that makes so much sense where this character came from.
Nathan Fillion was my favorite character. He was
great.
He was great.
Apparently, he's been in all 3 movies. It's like
in the first one, I think the second one he's on a poster is Wonder Man.
Is that what it is? Okay, I didn't know it at all.
The whole
I think
scene.
he's prison guy, some guy in the prison.
Yeah, he's a prison in the first one, like a guard or whatever. I think it was either in a suit or motion cap. But he's
in this one he was with his security team when they first broke in, and that was the greatest scene in the movie to me. Like I was literally like just dying of laughter. It was great. He was like, "Yeah, we got one of those on our team too." The idiot.
Boss's nephew. He's a little. Oh, yeah. I got one of those too. I mean,
it's the boss's nephew.
Yeah. That was the best part. Did you have scenes that stood out to you, Charlie?
Yeah, I liked that one. I mean, I really liked. I guess I really liked that little end scene that they had between Gamora and Peter.
Yeah,
it was a really nice moment. It was really kind of quiet and everything. It kind of tied up that nicely. And like related to that, I liked how they wasn't just like, oh, like she's like the same person, so of course they'll fall in love again. I like that they kind of just said, no, I mean she's different. She's just a different person.
Well, I love the bit that she says a line at the end. She goes, "I bet we were fun."
Yeah. Like she gets it, but also
she understands it. She doesn't have those emotions, but she understands what they saw in each other, and she just can't. She's a different person. She can't have those same feelings.
Yeah,
just simply because she's there and he's there.
Yeah.
There was some really. I mean, when Gunn hits the emotional moments, he does those very well.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of sometimes joking that doesn't. That feels like you're cutting off the emotion with the punchline.
Well,
Yeah.
That's just Marvel, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Sarah, Riley, did you guys have standout scenes?
Yeah. I have 2, surprisingly. The first one, the one that made me laugh, because the only one that made me laugh, because it was hard. This one, the one that they go to that planet to, like, how is it called? Like, they went to that house and they tried to communicate that they're like searching for Rocket. And they couldn't understand each other.
Oh.
And Drac was like trying to like fall asleep onto the couch, and the other one was like trying to say like he's like dead, like all the time, like doing the same thing. Yeah, Mantis. So that part like made me laugh. I don't know why, but made me laugh. And the other one that I think, like as you said, that there's sometimes like they do like good emotional scenes. I was about to tear up when they tried to rescue Rocket, when Quill was, he was like, I'm not losing him or something like that. I felt it. So that was good too.
My scene, like, I don't know, there was a lot of scenes I enjoyed, but one, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it just stuck out to me, so I'm going to go with it, is when I don't even know what those giant creatures are called, but they're like terrifying looking.
The ones
Like- Yeah, the like octopus type thing with the
Yeah, there's like 3 of them or whatever in the basement.
yeah, what's her name? Mantis be kind of master.
Yeah.
Control them. Yeah.
So the scene where that exact scene where it looks like they're like doomed, and she's like, no, like maybe they're just misunderstood. They're scared like us. Like I just thought like, okay, this series like in my mind has like I don't know, it's always going for a joke. It's not conveying as much emotion and stuff. And I just like that they brought more of that. Like it was like there's more meaning behind the messages and stuff. So I enjoyed that scene. And then you see her at the end with her little she's going off and they're like her bodyguards or something. It's like
So is the one thing you would have changed about this movie the amount of humor or the way the humor was used? What would you have changed?
I feel like some of the scenes the humor was rushed, like trying to like feed all the punchlines and like the jokes and moments together that didn't work. For example, for me, like when Quill was trying to flirt to get access to the information, for me that was like so forced. Like it didn't work at all. And because it was like, in 2 minutes you have to like do the like create that stuff, and it didn't work for me. No. I feel like the humor like was like off sometimes.
I thought the humor in this one was much better than like in the other ones though. Like they toned it down in this one, and
you thought it was toned down in this one.
Yeah.
In the second one, every time like Drax laughed, it literally drove me insane.
Yeah,
it was like so obnoxious, and he didn't do that in this one, so that just made the movie immediately 10 times better.
I put the second one out of my mind. Would you change anything about this, Stefan, about this movie?
Yeah, I think, well, one of the things I think is some of the characters, they didn't really have much purpose. Like Adam Warlock, I didn't really feel like he served much of a purpose. I also didn't think the High Evolutionary, I understand what he was doing, but he just came across as, like, mean. Like, he didn't have it didn't feel like this global plan or international plan. Basically, he, and not only that, but he was vain in the sense that when he boosted Rocket's thought capacity, he got jealous, and it kind of exacted revenge on him. And I just think that it was just not as clear cut as to who the bad guy was or what the purpose of the bad guy was. He'd already built this other Earth for whatever reason with all the rabbit people and the but even like that scene where they go down to the planet and Drax throws the ball at the little kid's head. It's physical comedy and it's funny, but it doesn't really serve. Yeah. With it's just out of character. With I mean, if Drax loves children, why would he assault a little kid?
Yeah. I thought the actor who played the High Evolutionary, though, I'm not going to.
I can't pronounce his name. He's on. He's in Peacemaker.
Kudaway, yeah. But he was, he's from Peacemaker.
Oh, really?
And he's great.
Catch. Yeah, he was great. I thought he was a great actor in this movie.
Yeah, I just think.
Do you want to change anything?
Yeah, I guess I would tone down the humor. And like he said, there are some extraneous characters like Adam Warlock that they're probably just doing it so he can fit in another movie and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd kind of get rid of the fat like that.
Do you know if they plan to do a sequel with the new characters, Stefan?
I think it's been talked about. I don't think there's anything set in stone yet. I think it would be actually good if. I think I'm more excited about the notion of a Quill movie on Earth than I am on a Guardians movie with that other team.
Yeah.
Well, because you have Quill's now interacted with Spider-Man. He's interacted with all these guys during the Infinity movies.
Yeah. I just don't think he can carry by himself. He would need help from characters.
Right, but the thing is, we know that
he's on Earth, so
we could always get Groot and Rocket back because they're CGI. So if none of the other actors want to do it, you can get most of that team back if the Guardians come to him and they need his help.
Sarah Riley, would you rather see a Quill movie or the new Guardians movie?
Quill. No doubt.
I mean, I would like a Quill movie for sure, but I guess I would like really want them to put Rocket in it. I don't know. This movie just sold me on Rocket, so now I'm just like, I want him to be there. I want to see what he can do. I feel like he just like got his. I don't know.
No, for
That's
me,
why he would do a movie with his own team.
But Chris Pratt's beautiful.
Well, the other thing too, that team though, it's really kind of, with the exception of Groot and Rocket, they're just kind of supporting characters that aren't really well defined at all.
Yeah, no.
You know, like even the whole bit where all of a sudden they shared encyclopedic knowledge of Earth music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just like a weird, because of a Zoom.
Yeah.
Charlie, which movie would you rather see?
I don't know. I want to see Peter Quill just going. He's like trying to like do his taxes and stuff. He's like, I'm just gonna get a normal job.
Or him getting a job.
Yeah, just trying to do a normal job. I want to see that. Like he's just trying to get a normal job, living with his grandpa.
Living with his grandpa,
And
mowing the
that's the whole
grass.
thing. That he doesn't see no one from Avengers and no one from the Guardians. Maybe Rocket drops by and like gives them a hard time, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
what about the Golden Boy? How is his name?
Adam
What
Warlock.
about
That Will.
what's his real name? Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter. Do you like that he disappearance?
I
Or
like
the
him as an actor.
actor.
I think he's very funny. I didn't
Yeah.
really think much of the character. I mean, the character is really the woman that the character that his mother was in the first one, which we didn't realize that she had no personality. So they gave him no personality, and he's basically there just to follow high evolutionaries. I don't know if he's an experiment of the high evolution. They don't really make a lot of that clear. But, I mean, in most things he's in, he's great. And he was fine in this. There just wasn't anything for him to act for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's there
So-
to like the story along.
Yeah, to save Quinn, who I guess
At the
didn't
end,
have his
exactly. The
face
purpose of his like appearance, it was that.
to
No,
save
he
him.
starts the movie too, so he does
Right.
both.
Yeah.
He starts it and ends it, so he's the
Yeah,
most important
okay.
character.
So, Stefan, I don't recall what happened to Quinn's like thing. Did he touch his face and his mask comes on and he can breathe in space? What happened to that? Thing?
Oh, when he went sucked out into space?
Yeah.
Uh,
Then in the previous movies he could like push something and his
yeah, I
mask
guess he wasn't
came on,
wearing
right?
it. And then what happened was, it's I don't know, a little far fetched. I mean, I've never heard of astronauts who can take off their helmets in space and be revived with a hug. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that is not really bothersome, but it is in the sense that they've already established previously that they can't do that. And it's just like, oh no, you're just a little dehydrated. We'll put you in the microwave for about 10 minutes, and
This may not age well, but I'm concerned about the Superman movie with James Gunn.
Oh, I'm not. I'm so
You're not?
excited for it. No,
All right. Okay.
I think that Gunn understands the characters, the world of the characters.
Yeah.
I think that right now they've got a whole confusion thing in terms of what's still around, what isn't. And the fact, like, I think there's all kinds of rumors going on because Blue Beetle's coming out, and Blue Beetle is part of the new universe, and then Aquaman 2 is supposed to come out, which is supposed to be awful. And that's part of the old universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Personally,
weird.
I think they should either hold Blue Beetle or put him on Max. And the same thing, I think, if you're writing off all these other movies, write off Aquaman or release it on Max. Don't, because you're going to ruin The Flash. I thought was great, and it was a box office bomb beyond belief. So if you release these two films, it's just more fuel to the fire as opposed to a fresh start.
Yeah.
With the or even if when you release he's doing the first thing coming out is Creature Commandos animated, then put on Blue Beetle. Whatever you want to do there, but I wouldn't rush that out and then expect people to understand. Like, oh no, this one's got the older Aquaman.
Yeah.
But I think there's a whole factor where we've been talking about all the characters that he's planning to introduce now in the Superman movie. He's got Mr. Terrific. He's got Metamorpho. He's got
The Hog Girl.
Which girl? What?
Hawk Girl.
Oh, I think it's a tall girl. I'm like,
Yeah.
Tall Girl, yeah, no. Tall Girl,
Guy
horrible
Gardner.
movie on Netflix. Have you ever seen that movie? It was horrible.
No.
Anyway, go ahead. Hawk Girl. Yeah.
But the thing is, I I saw a little brief interview with him, which they're like, well, aren't you making this like, top heavy with superheroes? And he's like, no, half of his life is Clark Kent and half is Superman. In the world that Superman deals with, these characters exist. I don't know if they're going to be huge characters in the film. They may just be, cameos or walk-ons or whatever.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I think that he's got the right tone. It's just, I think I really love Peacemaker. I think he has a good sense of humor because I think that's what's happened to Marvel is all the humor has disappeared from these movies. And
I don't want any humor in my superhero movies.
yeah, you got to have a little of the drama because that I mean, I don't want it to be. It's not a comedy,
Yeah.
but you want to have tension can be
You
broken.
want to
with
have
a
some
joke.
stakes. You want to have some
Right.
stakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So are we recommending this movie in the end? Is this a recommend to friends and family?
I would say
I'm going to go yeah.
I'm going to say yes, only
Yeah.
because it's the best thing Marvel's put out in a couple years. It's if you look.
Did you say
I'm gonna-
put your head there?
I
You
wouldn't.
said no? You
Yeah,
wouldn't?
I don't think so. I mean, if you saw the first ones, sure, but there's another action movies, other Marvel movies that they're better than this one.
Recently?
Well,
Yeah,
not recently, but
That's the-
All right, Sarah, recommend us a movie from the actors here that you want us to see then.
Chris Pratt in all the Jurassic World thing. I'll what?
I didn't say
You
anything.
don't
I
you
didn't
don't
say
like
a word.
you don't like
I
Jurassic?
didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. Riley, you have a recommendation for us?
You don't understand.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you a little story about Trell. Trell almost got killed when he was trying to train velociraptors himself.
Great. So,
That's
So
So,
the fact that Chris
there's a-
Pratt's gotten the credit for it, it's
Yeah.
No, I want to know why you don't like Jurassic World.
Riley, do you have a movie you
Have you
want
seen
to
Jurassic Park?
Oh
recommend?
my god! No, just an answer.
I don't know.
They're
That's all I can say.
I think I don't know. I didn't
They're
engage that one.
stupid. The guy clones his granddaughter and gives her dinosaur DNA. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Riley, recommend
More
a
than
movie.
these,
I'm
all these galaxies happening is not stupid at all. All these costumes and
Yeah,
all
but the
these.
thing is Guardians of the Galaxy knows
happening.
it's stupid. Jurassic
Yeah.
Park thinks it's scientific.
Riley, go ahead.
Exactly.
No, Jurassic Forever, and the old one's better though. But yes, Chris Pratt and the new ones are good too. And I'm
Riley.
oh my god. I need to recommend We're the Millers because that movie had me dying laughing multiple times with Will Poulter. It's hilarious. It's so funny.
Charlie.
Well, it's not one of the actors, but it's one of James Gunn's movie. Yeah, it's Super. I really enjoyed that movie. It's from 2010. It's got Rian
Super.
Wilson, like the guy from The Office.
Ah, okay. All right.
He
All right.
starts going out and being like a superhero.
And Ellen/Elliot Page.
Yes, exactly. It's
Stefan, you have a recommend.
Yeah, I do. It's a Will Poulter movie. It's an older one. Not a lot of people have seen it. Called Son of Rambo. And
It was great. Yeah.
and it's really a charming movie about two kids who live in England who want to make action movies. Highly
That's
recommend.
a great pick. Great pick. I'm gonna go with a guy who made a cameo in this movie. His name
Sly?
is Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh yeah.
And he was in a TV show called, you ever heard of it, Sarah, Smallville? So check that out.
Wait,
He did
Smallville.
Smallville.
Who did he play on Smallville?
He played Lex Luthor on Smallville.
Luther's on
Michael
Smallville.
Rosenbaum. Yes. And
big.
also the guy from Superstore, he was in this movie also. But his name
Yeah,
is
he played one of the
escaping me right
alien sidekicks of.
now. Yeah, he had the thing in
Of,
his brain. Nico Santos. He had the thing in his brain.
The guy with the thing in his brain. Got it.
Yeah, the guy
And let's
with the
also,
thing in his brain.
I also
Okay, yeah.
want to shout out Michael Rosenbaum and Sorority Boys.
Yes. Michael Rosenbaum has just an awesome
Yeah.
but Smallville's number one.
Of course, sure.
Right. Sarah Riley, let's get out of here. Give us your shout outs of the week.
My shout out goes to Temple, because thanks to Temple we met and we can do this podcast.
Temple University?
Temple Fox Chase.
Fox
Yes.
Chase.
Temple Health System, different.
Yes.
Temple.
Yeah, whatever.
You
Which
went
Temple?
to we know
Temple
Stefan
what?
went to Temple.
Fox-
Yeah, all right.
Fox Chase. Fox Chase.
Sarah, go ahead.
Hey,
I just
my
said
name's-
it.
My name's Riley.
Not Sarah. Riley. Sorry. I was looking at you and I
Jurassic
meant
World.
Riley.
Jurassic World.
Oh my god. My shout out is going to this person here because she has a bunch of dance videos. You should check out on YouTube,
Oh
and they're
my
pretty
God.
good because she just got featured in like a story on Instagram for her stuff. So good job dancing, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah, we can put a let us know. We'll put a link to the YouTube in this.
There we go.
All right, I will.
Stefan, go ahead, plug something and give us your shout out.
Well, okay, so I was going to promote my dancing videos, but I feel kind of awkward and I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I'm actually going to
style do
give
you
a
dance?
I'm sorry?
What style do you dance?
Salsa?
Yeah.
It's lambada, the forbidden dance.
Okay.
I'm going to give a shout out to one of my childhood heroes who's become a friend of mine and writes for my site. His new column will be out tomorrow. It's Howard Shaken.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know Howard writes for me?
I did not.
No, you should have. And I'm also going to shout out forcesofgeek.com, and these are Howard's latest two books that came out last week in comic stores.
Cool.
Howard is one of the best writer artists in the history of the medium, one of the smartest people I know, and hysterically funny. So his column is on well, it's on the infantilization of pop culture, and that's tomorrow's piece. But he's
So
a
Marvel movies.
just everything. But Marvel,
Yeah.
but he is he's great. I'm very honored to have him write for me, and it's so bizarre to have someone who when I was 13 years old, I was sneaking
Yeah.
his comics into my house and have him chat with me on a couple of times a week basis.
Yeah, that's
So,
really cool.
So yeah, Howard and Forces of Geek and you guys, this was really great. Despite planning to do podcasts, I've never done one before, so this has been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Charlie,
Yes.
shout out of the week.
Yeah, I'll shout out to San Diego.
Wait, Charlie,
Yeah.
what about your advanced videos?
Oh, sorry. For now, I'm still working on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's editing.
Editing. It
Yes.
takes a long time,
Sure.
High
The
quality.
visual effects.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you shouting out San Diego, Charlie?
Oh, no reason. Just
I'm also going to shout out San Diego Comic Con. I'm here in San Diego right now. So thank you guys for joining us once again. We will see you next week where our movie will be The Flash.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Stefan, thank you very much for coming
It's
on.
an honor
Appreciate it.
anytime. Be happy to come back.
All right. And we will see you next time. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Peace.